Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Education Before Medication podcast. Our goal with this show is to really just introduce you to concepts, information, and ideas that can actually help you take back control of your health. So join us once a month where me, Dr. Maria, and my friend and healthcare expert Tas will be having a conversation about lifestyle medicine and how you can leverage your habits to create powerful change in your health and in your family's health. Hey guys, Dr. Maria here. I just wanted to quickly jump in and let you know that this episode that you're about to listen to was an Instagram live that we did, so the format is a little bit different, but the information in it is as crucial, and we felt called to add this to one of our episodes. So just sit down, relax, and enjoy it.
And we are going to be talking about toxins. Toxins everywhere. So, I'm going to leave the floor to you, Maria. Welcome, and thank you so much for being on my platform.
Thank you for having me. I just wanted to say that we plan to do this every day for this week. Every day we go live and we talk about something that's crucial for, the world's health and everyone's health. Toxins being one of the most important ones. And I'll explain why. So why do we really need to target toxins is because, well, you know this, that anytime anyone does any effort to go on a healthier path, the first thing they do is nutrition, right? Because it's something that we do 3 times a day or even more for most people. And it's an opportunity for you to, add food into your life that can either cause disease or the opposite, create vitality, etc. So when someone is now going into that path of yes, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to make an effort, I'm going to go to the grocery shop and start buying fruits and vegetables and, make that effort, they don't necessarily know what's the behind the scenes of those fruits and those vegetables that they think is the key for nutrition, right? And of course, that's a major, improvement in their lifestyle anyway. But what's happening is that these days, nowadays, all of these fruits, all of these vegetables that should be fresh, ready to create life in our body are, filled with toxins, mainly pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, whatever. I mean, you name it. Everything is in there these days. So yeah, you're making all these efforts, but you're filling your body with the wrong products that are coming with all of these toxins. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, sure, but all of these companies that test these products, they know that it's safe. That's why they're adding it in the vegetables. That's why they're adding it in the fruits, because it's okay for me to eat them. But that's one of the biggest myths ever in the world health organization situation, because none of these have been tested. Actually, there's out of the more than 100,000 toxins that have been made, including pesticides, insecticides, all of that, only 1% has not properly been tested. 1% out of 100,000, more than that now. Actually, it was around maybe a year ago, but it's probably way more than 100,000 toxins at this moment in time. So you have to know that, and you have to think that these companies are putting these products not for your own benefit, but for their own. And that's the first step, is awareness, knowing where these things are coming from. And I just wanted to, if you want to interrupt me, Todd, please do. But I just wanted to kind of give a little perspective of how this is done. So when a farmer is using a pesticide, it's using a formulation of things, and it's a cocktail of different ingredients. And one of these ingredients is going to be the active ingredient. And all of the other ones, they name it inert substances, which is wrong. So these are not inert. They're not there just because they're there. They're there to boost and make the active ingredients even more effective. So when a pesticide company submits the pesticide testing, they are only really testing that one active ingredient. And usually that one active ingredient is only 5% of the whole mix. So there's, I don't know how many more ingredients that complete the percentage that are not being tested. And the reason why is because there's an assumption that they only need to test that one ingredient, and that the toxicity of that one ingredient is going to be the same as all of the other ones. When we know now, we have data that shows that it's not like that. It's not as simple as that, because is that that concept that, for example, it's common sense to say 1 + 1 = 2, right? But when it comes to chemicals and all of these substances, they're not just boosting each other. They are now. They are synergetic, meaning that they make each other stronger, and 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 anymore, but 1 + 1 can equal 3, 4, 5, and more. So we know that, we have good studies, peer-reviewed studies showing that these products can even be 1,000 times more stronger than what they are saying that they are. And I know that you have experience with all of this. With your son in particular, you've been one of those people that didn't know about it, like most people don't know. I don't know if you want to add anything to what I just said.
Okay, so that you just blew my mind with so much information. Okay, so if you bring something to the lab, okay, they test one pesticide?
Well, yes. In that formulation, what they sent for testing is one out of the whole formulation that they have.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is something people don't even understand. They think they would test them all. You know when they say so many testings are being done?
It's really like the biggest myth is that all things are tested and safe for us when there's so many loopholes that they go into. It's something that really affects me personally because I can't see other people suffer. I'm very empathetic. I just can't. So when I learn about these things, it makes me angry. But at the same time, I just want to, I want to give you the knowledge. I want you to know what to do. And for example, the most common practice for agriculture is to use up to 35 types of pesticides. 35 types of pesticides in one vegetable. And again, these are not being tested at all. So you have no idea what these things are doing in your body. Anya.
Okay, so I relate completely what you're saying. This makes me angry. This makes me so angry. You know how many times I get people who are saying, they're like, well, if it was bad for us, why would the government sell this? Why would they sell this? That would hurt our body. It doesn't make sense to them. So can you talk a little bit about that and enlighten us?
Oh my gosh, yes, I have so much to say, but okay, so research itself is kind of proving them wrong. And we see that most people have multiple pesticide residues in their bodies. And again, there's no requirement to test these combinations because again, there's that assumption that the toxicity behind one is going to be the same behind the combination of all of these, which is again, this is complete nonsense in science. I don't even understand someone trying to accept this as a concept that one is going to be the same as the other one. So yeah, actually, what did you ask me? I think I'm answering the wrong question.
I asked about okay, I get these questions a lot, okay? And someone would ask me, but if it's not good for me, why would they be selling it, right? Because it's not labeled. You don't see the labeling about this. They just think, okay, it's toxin free. What does toxin free mean? Or they say we have all of these testings. What are they testing and why isn't it labeled? And what we should look for?
The things they are pretending to test them. Again, they test one out of the combination of 35, for example. And the way they test it is not long-term. Again, there's no good peer-reviewed independent study. Again, because all of these pesticide companies are doing their own studies and they do it for 2 weeks. They say that you don't die from it, so it's fine. But we have a world where we have so many chronic diseases, cancer, inflammatory diseases, and none of these chemicals are being tested for these chronic diseases. So actually, there's one really good peer-reviewed study, again, independent study, that came actually about from the Monsanto study about glyphosate. And they studied a particular type of rat that is really good for human models. And what they saw was that every single female rat that they added glyphosate into their diet had mammary tumors. All of them had mammary tumors, and one of them had, I forget now, it was a tumor in another organ, but all of them had kidney damage, all of them had liver damage. And this was, again, people are like, but this is in a rat, blah, 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 blah. This is the rat that the Monsanto used to study their pesticides. And this is the best rat that toxicologists are using because it's the best model for human exposure.
And don't we have so many people that are going through the same toxicity each and every single day?
Right. And this study is about the most, I guess, popular toxin today, which is glyphosate, because it came about a lot lately. And so the formula for glyphosate is Roundup, I believe, right? I think something like that. And I don't know if you are aware, but the United States like uses more than 1.8 million tons of glyphosate, and you can find glyphosate in everything, every single manufactured product in the US, including honey, including water, has glyphosate. And take in mind that a lot of countries have banned glyphosate, but the US and the majority of states are still spreading this like it's the best thing that you can put for killing your weeds, because that's what publicized for. So this is why it's so important to talk about pesticides, to talk about toxins today, because the safety of pesticides is a myth. Like, you don't want them in your body. You don't want to have anything to do with them. And if you have them in your body, which most likely most of us do, you can start absolutely right away to remove them. To like just have a life free of toxins as much as you can. And we're going to talk about solutions with Tas. But don't wait until your country makes this chemical like banned. Don't wait until that moment. Don't wait for healthcare to help you and inform you, because that's not going to happen. You have to be your own, best friend, your health advocate. Like, you have to be that for you, because I guarantee you that no one else will be. No one else will be. And the healthcare industry has all of its problems, and it's not focusing on you. It's focusing on the global situation. So you have to work for yourself when it comes to your health.
So you're talking about glyphosate. What is glyphosate? You have someone at home who's watching this right now, and they're thinking to themselves, do I have glyphosate toxicity? Yeah. Do I have a glyphosate issue? What should they look to check and see if they have glyphosate? What does it look like?
So many things. So glyphosate toxicity can go from brain fog, can go from like a rash in your skin, can go from like damage in different organs. Mainly what I've seen is mainly like memory problems, like related to brain situation, like brain fog, like I said. What was Lucia?
Dementia, Alzheimer's.
But what I mean is, like, to fully detected, like, as the beginning stages is usually something like that. But obviously long term, we can't say that. Obviously there's no study showing that, because no one wants to study it long term. But we see more and more that from what we actually have, that this is bad news for us and for the babies, because we know that it passes the placenta. It goes into the baby. And we're now seeing Tas. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Babies that are tested now have up to 250 chemicals already before they're even born. 250 chemicals are now passing into that baby that hasn't even born, and you're creating so many problems in that little child's life before it even like appears and has a chance to live. So we have to really look and be careful to what we put in our bodies. And we have to know that if we're not buying organic, we're putting our lives, in danger by constantly eating the same toxin-loaded foods. That's why, like, go organic, go for labels that say glyphosate-free, toxin-free, as much as you can. Labels these days are going to be a best friend when it comes to choosing food, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't, but it's like that.
And to actually understand what the labels mean, right? Because there's so many things on a label that you can get lost in reading that you don't understand what it means, right?
Exactly. So that's, but it's more like, that's like kind of the second step is know what each ingredient that you see on the back means, because again, industries go to an extent to change those names to make it seem like they're fine, so you don't understand what you're eating. But that's
did you know that Monsanto with glyphosate, the Roundup, right? Yeah. So Roundup, Monsanto owns Roundup, and they actually changed the name now to Bayer.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, so they actually do it Bayer. You remember, like, I remember my grandparents used to use that A537, like it's like a menthol cream. You remember it used to smell strong of menthol? So that's Bayer. That's the company.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical.
Exactly. So they bought them over. Well, they changed the name.
Of course. I mean, honestly, I think it was I saw like a little, just on a podcast of actually the CEO of Mind Valley. He was saying that he had an employee of someone who worked at Ferrero Rocher. And the employer said that they had meetings within the company to brainstorm names for sugar so that they can fool the everyone that buys their product to think that they could eat sugar for breakfast, but they were actually just eating sugar. It's crazy.
But that's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
That's what we know. Everything is always hidden. I always tell people, I'm like, follow the money. When you find something, follow it. See, does it sound legit? How does it feel? Does it feel good to you? If something doesn't feel good, be more aware of it. Don't take it as face value.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into some of the solutions that you know, because you had your amazing, Lucho, your kid, your child had like glyphosate toxicity, right? And you were able to help him by, like, getting the awareness, getting the knowledge yourself, because most people had no idea what your son was going through. So do you want to give us a little bit more of the solutions to trying to get rid of glyphosate once you have it in your body?
Absolutely. So when I found out about glyphosate, like I didn't even know it was such a pandemic when I found out. And when I found out, I'm like, okay, so what can I do? It's like you tell someone they have this toxicity, but you must present them with a solution, right? You can't just say, okay, you have this toxicity. Well, okay, wonderful. Like, no. So it's like, what do I do? Because I'm a person who very much believes in solutions. You tell me there's a problem. Now, what do I do? So I was presented, thank God, I was presented with a solution, okay? A couple years ago, when Lucho was a baby, of this product called Biomedic, okay? Biomedic, and it's supposed to remove 74% of glyphosate.
That's incredible.
74%. Okay, so when I received it, I'm like, you know what? How am I gonna have my little baby have this capsule? Okay, it came in a raw capsule, right? So I'm like, what am I gonna do? I can't make him swallow this. This would put me through anxiety, right? So what I did, I started opening the capsule and I would sprinkle it all over his tofu scramble. And thank God it tasted good. It tasted like oregano. It was delicious. So he had no problems. He didn't even know what was happening. And when I put it in his food, after 3 days, okay, Maria, 3 days of him being on this, only once a day. I only gave him, no, half of it once a day because he was a little baby. I didn't even give him the full amount. All of his symptoms went away.
Amazing.
All of his symptoms. No doctors could explain it. They didn't even have a solution for me. They didn't even tell me that was a problem. Nothing.
That's amazing that just within 3 days, you can see results of something that was so accumulated in his body that once it started going away, the body was like, I can function now. I don't have to constantly fight against this particular situation that's happening. It's, for me, that's just mind-blowing that there's something out there in the market that's capable of removing glyphosate. That's why everyone, like, if you can't afford organic, because again, it's an investment, but again, if you should be putting your money where you want to be living a healthy life, so buying organic will be the first option. But if you really can't, and it's just too expensive in the area that you live in, or it's just simply not even there, because a lot of people live in areas that don't have organic foods, invest in something like Biomedic. Like, it's something that you can just have in your cupboard and you eat with your food, and you guarantee that you're at least getting rid of a lot of the things that you're putting in.
But let me talk furthermore. Like my life today, I eat everything organic, right? But still, when you go out and you go to a restaurant, now we have everything opening up, right? We want to go to the restaurants. You know what I do? There's no organic restaurant. Like, come on.
There's a couple, but maybe not in the area that we are.
Right. I mean, and it's very rare. It's probably like 90% organic or 80% organic. It's never fully organic, right? And so what I do, you take the Biomedic before you go to the restaurant. Just have it before. And I'm like, it's okay. And besides the food, as you mentioned at the beginning, it's in our water.
Oh, yeah.
So it's completely unavoidable.
Yeah. It's something, for me, it's just, it's not, I don't even have to think about it. It's something that I have to have, and that's it. There's no compromise. I'm not here
non-negotiable.
Yeah, I'm not here to try to see what happens if I don't do it. That's
Exactly. We believe in preventative care over anything else.
Yeah.
Over everything else.
100%.
And let's not fear the fear. Let's look at solutions.
Yes. Absolutely. But first, obviously, awareness. Like, know what you're doing these things for. and then focus on a solution and not the fear at all, because there's no point. There's really no point. Just always focus on what you can do. And fortunately for us, there is a lot that we can do, including biomedic.
Yes. So if someone's out there watching right now and you're not using biomedic yet, today's the day. Today's the day to start taking care of your health, taking care of yourself, your family. Kids can use it. You can use it. Everyone. This is for everyone. And you know,
I was gonna add, if you are skeptical, just go do a glyphosate test. Actually test your levels, and then go take use biomedic for how long should they use it for?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, and test it again. You will see such a dramatic, decrease in the toxicity levels. You'll be amazed at how well it works. So if you just test it for yourself, don't take our word for granted. Be your own science. Do your own research. Just do it. You don't regret it.
I love that. So exactly, if you don't believe us, go do your testing yourself. There's a great lab that I love, Great Plains Laboratory. You can order yourself a glyphosate testing, test it before, and then after 6 weeks, test it again. And you know what else about biomedic that I love so much? It reduces the C-reactive protein levels.
I didn't know about that. Actually, I wanted to look more into it, but that's incredible because, again, there's so much C-reactive protein and, free radical damage just from the way we eat and the foods that we choose and the way we choose to cook those foods, burn them, grill them, char them. All of that brings damage into the body and creates that C-reactive protein. So
exactly. And we need to keep those biomarkers low. And we all have these biomarkers that are inflamed in our body. I mean, all diseases comes with inflammation.
Yes.
Right?
I agree with that.
So if we can just introduce one thing into our life, one thing in our life that can change your life dramatically, why not?
One step at a time, and everything will be easy, not overwhelming. Just choose the one thing that you want to focus on. If it's getting rid of toxins, it's buying organic, investing in something like biomedic. And that's your first step, and it will do great things for you. You won't be feeling the dramatic effects that you would otherwise long term.
Exactly. So you know what? As Maria said at the beginning, we have launched this challenge that we are going live each and every single day, talking about toxins everywhere.
Anything that impacts your health if you don't do it well, or anything that impacts your health that you currently don't know about because it's something that is not common sense and it's not out in the mainstream as it should be.
Exactly. But even like us in the industry, we didn't know about it.
Right.
So if we didn't know about it, how many millions of people don't know about this? And it's our responsibility to bring this awareness.
Exactly. Even just what I told you before, only one of the pesticide agents is tested, only one of them, and then the assumption is made that they're all fine.
Wow. I still cannot believe that. One is tested. How do they choose which one?
It's called, so in the mixture that they have one that is called the active ingredient, and everything else they call inert, but they're not, because again, I said that before, they're there to boost,
act as a catalyst
ingredient.
Right.
So they test the active ingredient, which is most of the times less than 5% of the mix. So you have everything else in there. They have no idea what it's doing, and they're simply saying it's safe and go out and expose yourself to it as much as you can. So it's crazy.
I cannot believe it, how much this is. It seems like this is the food industry's best kept secret.
It is. It is the best kept. I mean, they're trying, but honestly, I'm so grateful for all the physicians who were, doing their job for years and years and years, and they saw that the standard healthcare that they used to provide to their clients did absolutely nothing for them, and they knew that they were going to go in their clinic and get out exactly the same way, and they got tired of knowing that that was the only thing they could do for them, and they went outside of their bubble and they looked into preventive healthcare. They looked into the studies that they're out there. They're amazing, nutritional science, environmental toxins, all of that, and I'm very grateful for those physicians that exist that can support people that finally see the light in the tunnel, which is beyond disease, beyond chronic disease.
Yeah, to finally seeing the light.
Yeah.
Finally seeing the light. I think that's a great way to end this.
Yes.
This is so anyone else who's watching this today, who's ready to see the light, we are here for you. We are here for you to take you along this journey and to show you that there's something better. There's something better, and you do not need to live like this and with this, because a lot of us, myself included, have lived with so many issues for years, and we have to not normalize it. We are not normalizing it, and there's something that we can do, and we have a solution. So reach out to myself, reach out to Maria. Let's take you on this journey, onto your new health journey.
Yes, absolutely. And also, if you have any topics that you would like us to focus on for the rest of the week, please just suggest something or a question you would like answered, and we'll try our best to give you what we know, the data that we know, what you actually can find, and what is actually true and what is not that true.
Yes. Oh, that could be a great segment too. We could do like debunking things. We'll put something that we hear, I would be like, true or false? Is that real? No. That'd be great, because we hear every day. I know with you and I, we hear influencers talk all the time, and we're like, no, that's not right. That's incorrect. Like, I hear it all day. So I mean, that could be a good segment as well.
Let's do that. Let's find some myths, and let's say why they are myths. Like the one that I just said, and the myth that all substances or chemicals that are put out in the world are safe for you. That's the biggest myth that has ever been founded by the pesticide and chemical industry.
Yep. And milk does a body good.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many.
Okay, let's just stop it here. We'll come back tomorrow for another topic. We don't know yet what, but it will be, again, as mind-blowing as we're trying to make this one. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
Yes.
Have a beautiful Monday.
Thank
you everyone for being on, and love you all.
Hey everybody, and thank you so much for watching and being part of this community. If you haven't already, just be sure to subscribe. You're going to get weekly videos on the most important health topics and daily practices you need to be applying in your life, so that you can just start thriving instead of simply surviving.